Hi, this is just a brief tutorial to let you know how the Google Classroom app works on your iPad. So for many of you last year, you may have used a Chromebook, and so you may be more comfortable accessing the version of Google Classroom that you can get to from your internet browser on your iPad. So whether you choose Safari or you choose Google Chrome, it really shouldn't matter. Either way, all you're going to do is type in classroom.google.com, and it's going to bring you to something that looks very similar to what you experienced last year. So if we press on one of these tiles, we're going to be entered into our Google Classroom. And again, it's going to look very much like we were used to on a Chromebook. So you'll also notice that on this version of the screen, we have our to-do list and our calendar in the top left side. The to-do list, if you're not familiar with it, is really handy because what it does is show you all of the work that's assigned in all of your classes. Now, right now it's summer, nothing's assigned. But what's also nice is it shows us any work that may be missing. So maybe if you were absent, you forgot about something, it'll pop up on this display for you. And if you've finished work, that gives you a nice feeling of satisfaction when we take a look at the work that's already been done. Right now at this time of year, these screens tend to be a little bit blank, and that's okay. The calendar function, which is also located at the top of our Google browser version, gives us a link into our own Google Calendar, which is nice because what it does is it shows us when something is due for a teacher. So if you go into your Google Calendar and you notice these little blue boxes that tell you what the assignment is that's due and when it's due, we can click on that and it brings us right into that assignment, which helps us to make sure that we're doing our work on time. So super helpful. Those are two functions in Google Classroom that I would love for you to get to know this year. Now, what I would also recommend is that you get at least a little bit familiar with the other version of Google Classroom, which is available through your iPad, which is the app version. So it's very possible that when you tried to access this, the browser actually rerouted you to the application. So let's take a look at that application so that we know and can get comfortable with what that looks like. The app looks like a little chalkboard with a person in the middle. And when we press on it, you'll notice the tiles look very different, but they all reflect the exact same classes which were in the other version. So don't stress out about it. Everything is still here. In addition, we can click on the top left corner and find those three little bars. They'll give us that little menu that again allows us to go to calendar or to our to-do list so that we're able to see what work is due and when. So those super helpful functions are still available to us. On the first day that you enter Google Classroom, it's possible that you'll notice a teacher has already added you to his or her class. So if you take a look at the class on the top bar, Youth Against Cancer, this student has already been invited by a teacher. And so very simply to get in, all the student needs to do is press join. If for some strange reason you accidentally click decline, please don't panic. Just email your teacher and let them know. They'll reset it and re-invite you so that you can enter. The other way we would join a classroom if the teacher hasn't already invited us is by pressing the little plus sign in the lower left corner. So that little white circle with the blue plus sign in it, we're going to click on that. And it's going to pop up a little screen for us that asks for a classroom code. The teacher might give you a classroom code in an email, or perhaps they actually share it with you over an app like Remind. But whatever the code is, it's going to be a random assortment of letters and numbers. And when we enter it, we can press join, and it will roll us right into that class. Okay? So notice this class pops right up and we've been entered into it. Now, on this very clean screen, I want to share with you that the headings that usually are on the top of your page of Google Classroom when you're using a Chromebook, or if you're using Google Chrome as your entry into it, they're going to be at the bottom now. So we have Stream, Classwork, and People, okay? So since this is just a sample classroom, there's really not much to see. let's go out into the regular classes and take a look around. We're going to join that Youth Against Cancer class. And in that classroom, what we're going to see when we first open it is called the stream. Our stream is everything that's going on in that classroom. And because it's everything that's going on, as the school year progresses, it can get kind of messy. So if you're worried about all of the things that might clutter up your view of what work needs to be done, then you're going to want to try the Classwork view. The Classwork view will give us just the work that that teacher has assigned. And then our People view gives us just the members who are in our class. So the stream is a nice place to go if you're looking to see what your classmates may be posting in terms of questions, what your teacher may be posting in terms of materials or announcements, and also assignments will pop up there. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of what a teacher might do on the stream. This is what's called an announcement. You'll notice there's no due dates attached. There's no actual work here to be done. This is just a little bit of information plus a couple of materials that the teacher wants you to review. So in this case, it's a web link and a Google form. But again, it's not an assignment. It's not something that you're expected to do by a certain due date. And so it won't count for a grade necessarily. Teacher may also just post a discussion question. And a discussion question is something that is designed to help you and your classmates really think about and discuss what's going on in things that you're being exposed to in class. So you'll notice that I can type in my response where it says add class comment, and it will appear. If I am in a position where I'm not really loving what I wrote, I can hold my finger down on it and that little delete bubble will pop up and I can just delete my comment, okay? Traditionally in Google Classroom, you would have to press the three little dots, but because our iPad is a touch screen, we're able to just hold our finger on it to bring up that delete. Now, just a reminder, please know that your teacher can still see everything that you've typed, even when you've deleted it in all of your Google apps. What we'll do now is take a jump into a different classroom and take a look at what the Classwork screen looks like. This stream is full of lots of things, but if I'm worried just about classwork, I can press that Classwork button and look, it's beautifully organized. And it shows me what work was due and when it was due. And if I haven't done it, I know that I need to get to it. So for this particular assignment, there is something attached. Now, regardless of what a teacher attaches, you've got to make sure that you get the job done. So let's click on it and see where it brings us. And it brings us to a Google form. And this Google form looks pretty detailed. So when you do a Google form, in order for you to receive credit from the teacher, you have to make sure that when you've done all of the things that have the little red star next to them, that you've clicked submit at the bottom. Now, right now it's telling me I can't submit because I haven't filled it out, but that's because we have to meet the requirements first. But make sure you click that submit button so that your teacher will get that from you, okay? So what's nice about Google Classroom is that we're also able to make comments about our work and ask the teacher, okay? Now notice, this is asking if I want to resubmit this assignment, and that's because this assignment was actually already done for this student. But what's nice too is that, let's say you make a mistake. You realize that you did the homework, but you did it completely wrong. You can do something called unsubmit, and unsubmit will take that assignment right back from the teacher and allow you to edit it so that you can submit it correctly. One more thing I want to show you in terms of just organization is that classes can get a little bit cluttered. So if you're still enrolled in a class from last year that you're not going to need anymore, you're going to press these three little dots and you're going to hit unenroll. And that's going to take you right out of that class. And that way your screen gets a little bit more room for the classes that you do need. So with that in mind, just a few little hints. I just want you to know that yes, you can comment on Google Classroom. You should feel free to share, but remember that we need to keep things school appropriate and that when in doubt, it's always important to be kind. Now, One last thing that I will show you, and we're going to jump to the other Google just to give us the sense that anything that we do in one happens in the other. You do see that those classes that we didn't need did disappear. Okay. We're going to take a look at the people in our class. So let's say the teacher gives you an assignment to work with someone and you don't really know that person very well. Notice we're going to go not stream, not classwork, but to people. And we're going to find our classmates. So what's nice about this is that we're able to email our classmates through their school district Gmail. So I would press that little envelope next to the person that I'm working with, and you'll notice it pops right up for me, a nice little message where I can say, hey, how are you? The teacher assigned me to work with you. What work are you planning to do on what day and at what time? So this is a nice way to keep you in the loop in terms of communicating with your classmates. As always, if you have any questions at all when it comes to things like Google Classroom or what's expected of you, please, oh please, make sure that you ask your teacher. We are always happy to help you. I hope this tutorial came